Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Dylan Silver, and today on the show we have Sorcha Porter. Sorcha is a top producing realtor, passionate coach, content creator, and teaching others how to leverage real estate to create financial independence for themselves. Sorcha, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, before we were hopping on, I was wondering where you were from. You mentioned Portland, Oregon. I told you a difficult Portland story that I had, unaware which area the Trailblazers played in. But enough about me. How did you get into the real estate space?
Oh, I think like a lot of people with my first house purchase, my husband and I moved to Portland, Oregon from the San Francisco Bay Area in 2014 with a goal of buying a home. And most of that goal was centered around the idea that I wanted to be able to decorate and customize my own space because I love interior design. And what I didn't realize is when we went to sell the home is that homes are money that we live in. And we made in that one transaction, after living in this little 260,000, 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,000 square foot ranch, we made in that one transaction the same amount we made in an entire year combined at our respective insurance call center jobs. And it just like clicked for me. I was like, oh my God, houses are money. And so that sort of like set us on a path of like, how do we get more of this and less of the call center job? And, entrepreneurship was born.
So, Sorcha, at that point in time, did you decide I'm going to go get a real estate license? Was that the next step?
No. So I was really reluctant. My husband had wanted me to. Like, he was like, you should do this. You would be great at this. Because like, even when we were looking for our first home, I was doing a lot of the heavy lifting for the realtor. I was looking at the houses and doing the investigation work and setting up appointments and stuff. And he's like, you should just do this for a living. But I wasn't ready to do a fully commissioned job. I mean, I think a lot of people don't realize that realtors eat what they hunt. Like most realtors don't receive any sort of salary. And so we're commission only, and you can go months without making any money at first, especially. But no, I didn't. What we ended up doing is we took the like $65K we made off that sale and we reinvested it into our personal skills. I took marketing and photography classes, and my husband took a coding boot camp.
I'm in one of those.
Yeah?
Yeah. Which one did he take?
He did the Tech Academy.
Okay, I've heard of that one. I don't know if he's heard of it. I'm in Triple 10. But there's so many of these out here now. It's interesting. This is pivoting a bit here. When he was going through that, and you were mirroring his growth, were you each on your own track, and you kind of huddled separately, saying, "Okay, I'm going to be on this track. You're going to be on this track, but we're going to grow together," or was it just divine intervention that your careers ended up intertwining?
No, it was definitely an intentional plan that sort of fell apart, and then we had to really quickly put back together that I'll get into in a sec. But basically, we had the plan that we would take the proceeds from the sale of the house, and I would keep my job, which was as a business analyst for insurance companies. I had worked my way up in insurance, and I was like a process improvement specialist. So I was helping insurance companies make multiple millions a year.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
And save multiple millions a year through process improvement. And Matt had really wanted to get out of insurance and do more tech. And so the plan was for him to do the boot camp. We'd buy a duplex using my salary to qualify, and we'd rent out one side of the duplex, which at that time would have basically made us break even on our housing payment, and we could live off of one salary. It was a very sensible plan.
Very.
Got into contract on a duplex. 3 days before Christmas, our realtor called us and with the inspection results. And in hindsight, we never should have gotten a contract on this house. He shouldn't have let us. He should have told us like the house was a mess, but we didn't know. And he's like, the inspections were really bad. There was fire damage, there was mold, there was water damage, there was active leaks. It was like way more than we could mentally or emotionally handle on our own at that point. We had money from the sale of our previous house and decent jobs, so we didn't have that much. And so our house was sold, and we were in Colorado visiting my family for Christmas.
Cold.
And I was like, we were like, what are we gonna do? And I like looked at Matt and I was like, we have $65,000 plus in the bank. You just quit your job. I hate my job. What if we just didn't do any, like, what if we just went and traveled around and like built websites and took photos for people and like tried to make it work? We could go for a while with this much money. And just see if we can make something out of it or have a big adventure. Why not?
Yeah, this is great. Yeah, what happened? I'm on the edge of my seat here, Sorcha. What happened next?
So that's what we did. We sold all of our personal belongings, which to be honest was like largely IKEA furniture. Stored a couple of special items at his grandparents' house. He wrapped up his coding boot camp. I took marketing and photography classes. And we started a small web development company. And within like 2-3 months of him wrapping up his coding boot camp, we had enough clients that we were making the same amount we were making in the insurance call centers, which wasn't a lot of money, but it was like we were making the same amount that we were making in insurance call centers, and we could work from anywhere. So we decided, why not? So that's what we did. We hit the road. I got a job with United Airlines for the purpose of using the free flight benefits to get over to Europe. And so I got a job. I worked with them for like 8 weeks, used my flight benefits to get us to Scotland, sent a sorry I quit email when we got there, and we just took off and tootled around Europe and built websites for like 2 years.
The amount of absolute grab the bull by the horn in this story is wild. So did you say you quit your job in Scotland?
Yeah, I quit my job. Well, so I had been working in insurance and like financial services, and Matt had been working in insurance and financial services. That's my husband. And he quit to do the boot camp because he was doing full-time boot camp. And I was keeping my job. And then when the house fell through, like when the sale fell through, then I quit my job because I was like, we're not staying here. Whatever's happening next, we're not staying here. We're going to go, we're not going to, we'll stay with family or something while we figure out what we're going to do. And then when he was doing his coding boot camp, I got a job with United Airlines because we had come up with this idea that we would travel for a while.
God bless. This is phenomenal.
So I got the job with United Airlines. So I was like, well, maybe I'll learn about maybe I'll get cool flight benefits, or I can work out my schedule to where we can travel more.
Yeah, did you? You got cool flight benefits, right?
I did. But I realized that working in customer service as a gate agent for United Airlines was not my calling. Um,
Yeah.
and at the same time, I was helping him find clients to make websites with, because I started my insurance career in sales, so I've always been good at selling.
Yeah.
Um, and so I helped him. I would go on Facebook groups and stuff and find his clients, and he would build the websites, and I would handle the people. And pretty quickly we were making as much as we were making in insurance. So I was like, well, why not? We have flight benefits. Let's just go. And I had no love for my boss at that time or my job. So when we got to Scotland, we used the benefits to take a first class flight all the way to Scotland. And then I got there and I was like, hey, I'm quitting. Bye. and
Wow. This
and we
is
just
the greatest. So
so
Sorcha,
that's how we got started in real estate and entrepreneurship. And
at
then
this, yeah, what was the next step? So you're in Scotland, you're vacationing effectively. You're
yep,
you're you're able to build websites and do the videography. What
yep.
was the next steps like to getting into uh being a top producing realtor?
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
So we traveled about 2 years and did like travel and lifestyle photography and blogging and website development, and built like a little following and little following. And then we decided like we were getting kind of tired of living out of a backpack, and simultaneously COVID was like getting more concerning. And we actually got back and we decided to come back for a little bit thinking we would go to China next. And and then
Helma.
yeah, and then we got back to the US, and 2 weeks later they shut down the borders because of the pandemic.
Sorcha, this is an interesting segue. I was in San Antonio. Do you know the significance of this during COVID?
No, I don't remember. I know something about it, but no, tell me. I'm excited.
This was ground zero for COVID. They had at the Air Force
Oh,
Base in San Antonio, the people who were from this, I believe it was a cruise, onto the Air Force Base. From there, COVID outbreaks to the entire United States of America.
wow.
Now, of course, it comes from other places there too, but they had COVID at the Air Force Base. They tried to contain it, could not contain it. It went to this mall, which you can Google online if you search like San Antonio Boot Mall. That's not the name of the mall. It might be called like North Park Mall. I think it's North Park. The whole mall gets like COVID, right? And so they even did this thing where like they tried to like disinfect the mall. Like, I don't know what you would call it. I'm using the wrong words here, but like fumigate the COVID, right? Which is crazy, right? But they tried to do that. And of course, now if someone got COVID in a mall, I'd be like, we'll throw our hands up. But back then it was a serious
Yeah,
deal. But
nobody
I,
knew
I, I
what was
digress.
going
I
on.
digress. COVID,
Yeah,
yeah.
so that's so interesting. He's not my uncle. He's technically like my second cousin, but he's my dad's age, and
Yeah.
he's a doctor in Dallas, and I remember him talking a lot about how intense it was during that time. So I do know there was a lot going on in Texas at the time, but I didn't realize it started in San Antonio. So
Yeah,
that's
crazy. So what
crazy.
happens next? What happens next? You're coming
we
back, you're
got we
realizing,
got back
yeah,
to the US and we moved in with my parents, and then COVID hit, and at the same time my grandparents had purchased the house across the street from my parents because they wanted to be closer to family. And so they were living with my parents. I was living with my parents with my husband, and then my sister and her husband ended up moving in with my parents. So we're all living with my parents at their house, and it was not a tenable situation. I love my family very much, but it was too many very opinionated Jewish people in one space.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
And it was like, it did not work.
There's
And
not
so,
enough. My dad was from a Jewish family, lived in Tel Aviv for a time period while his father was a professor at, I believe, at a university out there. And all I can practically smell the matzo ball soup in the room over there, Sorsha. I can sense there
it
was a
was
lot of Jewish activities happening in this room.
it was really special and fun, but it was like too much. And my husband and I were like, okay, we have to get out of this. We still had money actually left over from the sale of our house
Yeah.
because we had been making an active income while we were traveling, and we were using like house sitting to cut down our costs. So we had very little overhead while we were on the road. And so we decided to buy a property near where my parents were in Colorado Springs, which at the time was a pretty hot market. And still is a hot market. It's still, with the military bases there, it
Yeah.
continues to be a market that's pretty steady and growing well. Um, and so we decided we bought our first house that we bought was a cosmetic fixer, and we fixed it up and we sold it. And that's part of why we made such a good return on it.
Sure.
So I was like, why don't we just do that again here?
Yeah.
And we'll just stay until we don't want to stay anymore. And so we did that. We bought a townhouse in a nice neighborhood. It was an ugly townhouse, but like the previous owners had done the plumbing and the electrical and like all of the expensive ugly parts that
Yeah. Like
nobody
the
loved.
the the, the guts were good. It just
Yeah,
needed a little bit of TLC.
yeah.
Need a little bit of love.
So I put in a flowery flooring and like a bunch of fun, did a bunch of fun like maximalist design to it, and we ended up deciding to move like less than a year later back to Portland. Because I was like, okay, that experience made me realize I really wanted to be in real estate. And I thought maybe we'd get into flipping, maybe I'd get into real estate, but I would get my license. And so that's what we did. We sold that house, and on that property, we made like 100K in profit. And
Wait a
because
minute. So you flipped two properties in your life. This was the second one. The first one you made 65, and the second one you make $100,000.
Yeah, but they were
Oh
not.
my.
These were live-in flips. Like these weren't like hard money loans, or like we were living in them, renovating them after work when we were
Okay,
done
so it
moving.
had market appreciation due to the
Yes, so
inflation,
it
right,
wasn't.
over
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
Okay,
It was,
still
and the
very
first one
impressive.
was 2 years, and the second one was like 9 to 10 months process.
This is still very impressive. You're two for two. You're
Oh,
basically the
thanks.
Barry Bonds of flipping, especially considering you had two projects here. You could have lost your hat on either one of these, but instead you did it fabulously well. So,
Thanks. Yeah, and so when that wrapped up and we sold that, we moved back to Portland because we missed it. We missed our friends here. We missed our life here in Portland, and we bought another house to live in flip. Um, and that property was like a character home. And while we're getting ready to sell that property right now. We've been living in it since 2021, 2022,
okay, I'm
late
expecting at least
2021, early.
$150,000 profit in
Huh?
this home. I'm expecting at least $150,000
Probably
profit
more,
in.
but yeah, yeah. I've learned some things. But yeah, so that house we've been living in, and we added. So I got my license when we moved to Portland. That's like where we're at now. And I started working for an agent who had a lot of experience, and the deal was we would trade, knowledge for time. So I would give him
Yeah.
my time and help show around his clients, and he would teach me the ropes so that I didn't get sued or lose my shirt. And it was a good deal. I didn't realize that's pretty normal to pay an assistant, so I was like working for free and then doing his deals and
You're a
doing my
realtor
own.
at this time, right?
Yeah, I'm a licensed realtor at this time. I'm doing his deals for him and also doing my own deals and bringing in my own leads.
Oh, wow.
And I realized pretty quickly that I had zero interest in the conversations about how we feel about the color of the paint in the kitchen. And I was like, but think about how much money you could make with this space because of
Yeah.
my like flips and how motivating it was for me to do those. I'm like you can make like a whole year's salary if you like buy this house and fix it up
Yeah.
over time. in like a very short period of time. And I realized I wanted to work with investors. So that's what I started doing. And that's what I started focusing on. And I got my first client like 2-3 months after getting my license. He called in from a Zillow lead and he was like, "Do you have any experience with 1031 exchanges?" And I was like, "Oh shit, yes I do, because my dad's a CPA and he specializes in real estate." And so I knew what a 1031 exchange was and how it worked and how the process worked in real estate. And I was like, "Yeah, actually I do. My dad's a CPA and I used to work for him as an administrator in his office. So I'm
Yeah.
really familiar with that." Totally bluffed my way through that whole deal. That client is now one of my best clients. Um, and we got him a new home. I'm actually helping him rent it right now. He
If
just
there's
has a
any takeaways from this, Sorcha, it's grab the bull by the absolute horns, okay, and use your United Airlines freebies to get to
oh,
Scotland, you know,
100%. 100%.
proverbially. If you might not be able to get to Scotland, there might not be a passport in your desk drawer or in your future, but find a way, right? So here you are, with a Zillow lead. You're previously working basically as an unpaid assistant, and being a realtor, uh, and now you get the Zillow lead and becomes your
My
investor,
niche.
which you've now
Yeah.
used for years, and been able to have that strategic relationship with. Congratulations on this. Just I don't have a terminology for this. I'll have to come up with one after the show, but just absolutely riding the wave.
Thanks. And so yeah, I started focusing on investors and I realized that that was my community and my people. I love I love the process of making money creatively. I look at, an empty lot and I see a way to make $1 million. And a lot of other people are just like, what am I going to do with this?
Yeah,
And
right.
and so that's like sort of became my focus. And when the market shifted in like 2022, 23, and interest rates rose, my investors started to really back off of their investing because the cap rates weren't great.
Yep.
And so I ended up building an ADU in my own backyard because I was like, we need income. We need additional income to like steady our like make our money steadier. And so we built an ADU in our backyard and we Airbnb'd it. And in the first month, this 200 square foot ADU made us our entire mortgage, which was like $2,500. And I was like, oh my God, new thing. And so I like latched onto that. And I went to an investor friend who I had helped do a couple of deals. And I was like, hey, he had this really tiny studio in his basement that he was having a hard time renting. I'm like, your teeny tiny studio that you're having a hard time renting? I was like, give me 4 grand and 3 months and let me see if I can double your money on it. And so he was like, all right, cool, go for it. So we furnished the unit, I started marketing it, and I double and a half his money in 3 months and then started
What'd
making.
you do to the? What'd you do to it?
I furnished it, repainted it, put it on Airbnb and Furnished Finder,
And
and
so he was
started.
just renting it out at that point in
He
time.
was just renting it long term, and then his tenant ended up buying a house with me. So I was like, I need to refill it for you.
Sorsha,
Um,
this is the wildest life story I've had on the podcast by far. And I had a woman come from Romania with $400 in her pocket to then, multiple, seven-figure deals. Like, this is crazier than that. Like, you are just
that's so funny.
absolutely
That doesn't
riding
sound
the
much
wave.
than that to me. $400 to seven-figure deals is a pretty big deal. But
She
mostly,
did it.
I
She
was
did it
like,
in 7 years. She did it. She came here in 2018, and it's
wow,
2025, and she's now,
that's
incredible,
amazing.
doing commercial real estate deals. I couldn't believe that. But the thing that strikes me about your story, Sorsha, is you're not sacrificing at all. I can sense it through the screen. Your zest for life. You're enjoying your life.
Oh
Like, this
yeah.
is so apparent. And so I think a lot of Americans specifically, and I'll include myself in this, think that there's a sacrifice that you have to make between money and living your life, to the point where people are like, I'll work all the time, I'll make a bunch of money, and that's okay. That's my trade-off. And you have done the opposite of that. You're like, I'm gonna take some time off. I'm gonna go do videography. I'm going to Scotland. I'm coming back. Hey, there's a dwelling unit. Let's turn that into. Let's see if it'll cover the mortgage. Actually, I'm good at this. Let me help. Let me help some other people do it.
Yeah. I mean, I think For me, the thing that I value more than anything else is my time and the people, the relationships with the people I care about. And so everything that I do is focused around how to create more space in my schedule so that I can spend time with the people that matter, and how to do it in a way that doesn't make me want to pull all of my hair out. And
Yeah.
so I just sort of like follow my nose where the interests go, and where the money, and where that goes, money follows. And so I also think just like I'm willing to test things that a lot of people are scared to do.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know a lot of people who will go to their friends and be like, "Hey, give me 4 grand and let me try this weird experiment for 3 months." Um, but I think that I've built relationships with my friends to where they're like, "If I give you any money, you'll turn it into more. So go for it, give it a shot." Um, so yeah, I mean, it's very much like, how do I create the most joy I can with the time that I've got? So,
This
yeah.
is phenomenal stuff here, Sorsha. I'm thinking about myself selfishly. I'm like, I have these goals that I want to do. I'm trying to get to Santo Domingo, which is in the Dominican Republic. I'm trying to live out there, and I'm thinking like someone's already done this, like without even stopping to think about this is the end destination. They just went right now, Like you
Yeah,
were like, I'm just going right now. Like I don't know what's gonna happen 5 years from now, but this is happening today.
you're only limited by the amount you're willing to work to get to the place you want to be, and the creativity you're willing to execute to get there. Like
So
that's it.
at this point, to present day today,
Yeah.
I mean, I can only imagine the creativity that's in your life. Where do you see this scaling to? What's your day to day like today, and
So
where is this
yeah.
going to? Yeah.
So I that one unit that I did for my friend has turned into a full-on furnished rental management company. We've in about the past year and I guess 4 months, we've grown that to the like third largest furnished rental management company in the Pacific Northwest. Um, and definitely one of the largest in the Portland area. We went from 0 to 500K in revenue in the last year.
So
Um,
18 months basically from zero to where you are today.
yeah, like 15 months, I think. Yeah,
This
but yeah.
is so wild.
And
So what was your competition doing?
not good, I guess. They were what I realized is that first off, they were all men, and they really didn't focus on the presentation or the design of the spaces.
Yeah.
My spaces are incredibly curated and well designed. Like I really think about who I'm targeting with my units. So like I create an avatar for every single unit that I put together.
Hmm.
Like like I'm actually sitting in one of my units right now. I don't know that you can see much in the background, but it's a 350 square foot studio. It's got a fenced yard and off street parking and like a cute little kitchenette. And I've like got like a pink toaster oven and lots of fun colors in here. My avatar's name is Brittany. She wears a messy bun and UGG boots. She went to like I don't know, Brandeis. She's a travel nurse.
I went to Brandeis.
she has a she has a small dog named Bruiser, and she likes to drink Starbucks every morning on her way to work. Like that's my target person, and I've decorated the space for her so that when she sees the product that I'm putting out, she's like, "I'm gonna rent that one. I don't care how much it costs." And so that's sort of been how I've done it. Is I think that that's really what sets me apart in the local marketplace, and also I deliver because I have these highly curated spaces. I have built this track record over the last 18 months of properties that are performing 40 to 60% better than the long-term market is doing, and I've used my real estate relationships to share that information. So like my realtor friends will refer me to their clients because they know I'm not going to poach their clients from them, and they
Hmm.
also know that i'm I'm going to do a good job and make them look really good. So
Wow. So, I mean, immediately and selfishly, I'm thinking, when can you expand out of Oregon into Texas?
I don't. The plan is actually to go straight back to Europe.
There we go. Let's go.
Matt and I want to. With what I've realized is I love this like hospitality business because I really enjoy interior design. I
Yeah.
enjoy building relationships and meeting new people, and I enjoy like the creative process of figuring out how to make something kind of weird work. And I have a lot of like very strange teeny tiny units and like unique spaces because people will come to me when their property manager doesn't know what to do with them. They'll be like, I'm not making enough money to cover my mortgage. Like, I'm getting, like, I've been vacant for 6 months. And it's really a matter of like paint and decor for them. And then we get it
Yeah.
rented for a lot more. But I've enjoyed that part. So I want to buy a castle in
Let's
Europe.
go.
And I want to create like a events and like weddings venue and like renovate a castle. That's like my dream project right now.
What a flex. I want to buy a castle. First on the Real Estate Pros podcast. I want to buy a castle. There's definitely castles in Scotland. There's got to be. That sounds like a place where there's
They're also
castles.
not expensive. They're not expensive.
They're not expensive?
You can, I mean, they're expensive, but like there's the cost of like a luxury home in Texas. They're not, like-
$500,000.
What?
$500,000.
You can get a castle. I've seen them for like 500. I've seen them for like 800. I've seen them for like the kind that I'm looking at are probably in the like 1.2 to 2.5 million.
What kind of castle are we talking about here? Are we
We're
talking like
about like a proper medieval stone castle with turrets and like a moat. Like these are real castles.
Oh my gosh, that's a whole other podcast, Sorcha.
I can
We'll
come
have
back
to
later.
be back about castles. I only know one person with a castle, and it's this YouTube gentleman who I've followed, Dan Pena, who has this like castle retreat for people who are like business related. I've never really thought about castles other than outside of that, and I want to say his might be in Scotland. I don't know, but
That would make sense. There's a couple of them there. Scotland and France are like really popular places for it because those locations give big grants to restore historic properties. So they tend to attract people. I've been doing a lot of research.
Yeah, you're getting a
Yeah.
castle here. I mean, it could happen next month. I don't know. I mean, knowing at the speed that you move at, it could happen.
I mean, that's the dream. My poor husband is exhausted. He's like, "Where are we going next? What are we doing?"
Sorcha, we are coming up on time here. Where can folks go to get a hold of you?
You can find me at sorchahomes.com. If you're in the Portland metro area and you're looking for a furnished property manager, you can find me at brightlyfurnishedrentals.com. And if you want to follow along on our crazy adventures, we're Sorcha and Matt's Grand Adventure on Instagram.
I love it. This has been one of my favorite podcasts. You've inspired
Thanks.
me so much. Now I'm thinking like I don't actually have to wait. I'm just got to go figure out how to make life happen in the Dominican Republic like tomorrow. Like let's just go.
Yeah.
Like I don't. It's just.
I would love to help you with that. I literally was at a motocross track yesterday with one of my friends who's also a client, talking to them about how they can buy the track so that they can live their dream of
Just buy the track.
Yeah, that's like we're doing that. We're doing that this month. That's happening. So
I love it. Sorcha, thank you so much for coming on the show.
thanks so much for having me. It was really fun. It was great to meet you.
You as well.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.